The Customize tab for your listing allows you to adjust certain settings for your listing directly in Beyond Pricing. These include minimum and maximum prices, extra guest fees, minimum stays, last-minute discounts, and check-in, check-out, and changeover days. The options you see on this tab will vary from user to user depending on whether you have a direct connection to Airbnb and/or VRBO or are connected via a PMS. There are two options that will be available to all users: minimum and maximum prices and last-minute discounts. So let's start with those. Your minimum price is the lowest rate you'd be willing to accept for a night. This is completely up to you, but we recommend setting it as low as you feel comfortable. Just remember that a high minimum price will likely result in fewer bookings in periods of low demand and limit last-minute bookings. You can also adjust the minimum price on the calendar and chart views for your listing. Setting a maximum price puts a cap on the nightly rate we will suggest. In general, we do not recommend setting maximum prices because you can often get booked at much higher rates than you would expect in periods of high demand. However, if enabled, we will not suggest rates above that price unless you manually override a day with your own prices. Next up is last-minute discounts. Beyond Pricing allows you to set percentage last-minute discounts in order to increase the likelihood that you receive a booking in the immediate short term. Last-minute discounts will pull the nightly price down, but never below your minimum price. By default, Beyond Pricing inputs a discount of 25% for reservations booked within the last 3 days to stay and 10% for the last 7 days to stay. Additionally, we increase rates by 10% and 30% after 270 and 390 days respectively. If you would like to adjust these, it's easy. You can simply type in the percentage you would like to change it to and adjust the number of days as needed and click Save. Here are a couple examples of when you may like to adjust your last-minute discounts. If your listing is brand new and doesn't have any reviews yet, we recommend setting more aggressive last-minute discounts. This will allow you to get some bookings in the immediate short term and gain those all-important 5-star reviews. Studio and one-bedroom units tend to book last minute more often, while larger rentals book further in advance. We recommend setting more aggressive discounts close to the date of stay for larger homes. Fly-to markets require planning to get to. For last-minute discounts to be more effective, you may want to push these into the last 21 and 28 days instead of 3 and 7 days, for example. Up next, extra guest fees. For some connections, including a direct connection with VRBO, you set extra guest fees directly in Beyond Pricing. For a direct connection to an Airbnb listing, you will continue to manage extra guest fees directly in Airbnb. To set an extra guest fee, simply enter the amount you would like to charge per person and after how many guests you would like to charge an extra fee, and hit Save. Now on to minimum stays. Minimum stays allow you to set restrictions around the lowest number of nights you are willing to accept for a reservation. You can set both annual minimum stays that apply year-round, as well as seasonal minimum stays for time periods where you would like to set a different requirement. So here, for example, I'm going to set my annual minimum to 3 nights, but I'm also going to set a seasonal minimum night stay requirement of 1 night to help me get more bookings during the winter, my low season. Please note that you must set your minimum stay requirements in Beyond Pricing for your VRBO listing. For your Airbnb listing, you have the choice to set them in either Beyond Pricing or Airbnb. If you have the option with your connection, we recommend setting minimum stay requirements in Beyond Pricing. This is because it also gives you the option to enable gap fills. Gap fills pair well with minimum night stays to increase flexibility and receive extra bookings and increase revenue between longer stays. Let's take a look at my listing in Hawaii. I've just set an annual minimum night stay of 3 nights. Now let's take a look at my calendar to see my bookings. I've got a huge booking over Christmas, New Year's, which is great, and the property is blocked for the owner to use from the 3rd of January onwards. This leaves January 2nd free. With my current minimum night stay requirements of 3 nights, this night is currently unbookable. However, if I enable gap fills in the Customize tab, this will make an exception to my annual minimum stay requirement for this date and allow a 1-night booking for January 2nd, giving me another opportunity to increase revenue. Last but not least, annual or seasonal changeover and check-in check-out days. For some PMS connections, we offer the ability to limit the days people can check in or out of your property. Beyond Pricing does not necessarily recommend restricting days that guests can check in or check out. Our pricing model aims to maximize revenue for each day, so you'll know you're making the most from each reservation, no matter the length of stay. However, we understand that in some traditional vacation rental markets, this is the norm, so we like to give you the option. That's it for the Customize tab. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at support@beyondpricing.com.